the way that they're using AI and bringing these characters back, it was just the worst thing I've ever seen, and I'm over it. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm over it. This movie really was the nail in the coffin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Critics. My name is Isaac Joel, and today we're going to be talking about Scream 7. I just left a fan screening of the film. The movie just came out today. It is Thursday right now, so it'll be out tomorrow, Friday, and all weekend for everybody to go and check it out. I'm going to give you guys my spoiler-free review. Just going to give you kind of my quick thoughts on this. I'm not going to go into spoilers or do any deep dives like that. I do want you guys to spend the weekend and go check it out for yourself and kind of develop your own opinion on it. But this is where I'm at right now with this film. God, all of my fears just came true times 10. Things that I didn't even know I was nervous about came to fruition. So I mentioned back in my Scream ranking video, if you haven't checked that out, go watch it, that I did read the plot leak a couple of months back for this movie, and I think some stuff might have changed or just weren't clear at the time, but I knew who the killer was. I'm not going to say who it is, but it didn't go down the way I thought it was going to go down. The reveal was actually 10 times worse than I had expected. What you think going into this movie and the way they've marketed it is that it's supposed to be really serious and really grounded compared to the previous two films that came out with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, where they were dark and they were brutal in their kills, but they were also having a lot of fun. You can tell that they're being very campy and meta with the genre. But this film wants to take the opposite approach and take a understanding of the character and the viewpoint of Sidney Prescott and where she's at now in her life as a mother, as a wife, and as a business owner. And I thought some of those conversations were kind of interesting to talk about, to go over, but they really just kind of missed the mark, it felt like, with this movie, where Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween movies is kind of bordered up and she's prepared her entire life because she knows that someday Michael Myers is going to come back and their paths are going to cross, and so she's like getting soldier ready. Whereas Sidney Prescott, they're kind of trying to take a different approach, but also not really, by doing like with these legacy characters, is they want to see what she's like in her life as a mother, as a suburban mother, and just kind of trying to be normal. But you know, when it comes to Sidney Prescott, there is no normal. Ghostface is always going to be coming after her, and that was my fear of bringing her back. Is do we really need to see another Ghostface come after her? Okay, fine. If we need to see that, then it's got to be emotional. It's got to be personal. It's not personal at all. The killer, the motivations, it is not personal and connected to Sidney Prescott at all. It's just kind of randomly tossed and mixed in there. And it's so disappointing because I feel like making a Scream movie is pretty easy. It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. These movies are really easy. All you gotta do is have a couple of good setups, great kills, great characters, some meta commentary on where horror and that genre is at in its current time and climate, and make every character kind of seem like a suspect, and that way we just don't know who it is. And this movie just doesn't want to do any of that. And it's so strange because the director of this, Kevin Williamson, he wrote the other films. And as Wes Craven directed them, he wrote them. And so you would think someone who knows the lore and the history and the mythos behind Ghostface, Sydney, Scream as a franchise, why this is so important to the fans, the fan base. You know, if you're not going to bring back or continue the arc of Samantha Carpenter from the other films, then maybe just reinvent new characters. Why are we going back to Sidney Prescott? This movie just confused me because it was just so unnecessary bringing her back. This movie has some solid kills. I will say that. From the get-go, the minute it started, and I knew it was going to start with that Airbnb scene that we keep seeing from the trailers over and over again. It was as if that was their big kind of masterpiece during out the whole shoot, and I didn't really like that they used that for the marketing. It's the first scene in the beginning. You kind of know how it's going to shake down, and you do. There's nothing new, nothing crazy that you haven't seen in the trailers already. The kills were great. I will give them that. They write some solid kills, brutal moments where I really was screaming and shaking and jumping out of my seat. There were some dope moments like that where, I mean, again, that's what makes Scream so easy to do, is just have some solid kills, solid commentary, and be done with. And what you need to understand about these Scream movies is they only work, they could be good, bad, whatever in the beginning, the middle, whatever. That's a separate conversation. But when you get to the very end and it's revealed who the killer is and why the killer is doing this, it better have made all of that, the journey, worth it. And holy shit, the climax, the finale was just not worth the journey. I was really thinking about this on my drive back. If Scream 5 and 6 is The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, which one can argue and say those are moderately pretty decent good movies, then you can easily say Scream 7 is the Rise of Skywalker to the entire franchise. When it came to Rise of Skywalker, that movie, as a lot of you may know, for those that don't, was a scramble fest. They felt like they had missed the mark so bad with the last two movies that they had to scramble and fix and reset everything, but also kind of try and conclude it, but also leaving the door open for other stuff to happen. Wow, this movie was the Rise of Skywalker, because the ending, the reveal, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't. And I was having a pretty good time with the journey and with the characters and everything they were implementing. There's some cool scenes. It's very grounded. It's trying to be as serious as possible. It's the least. This is the least funny Scream movie of all of them, and that just kind of like took it a little bit away from me. I just felt like I wasn't having fun with the film and with the filmmakers and what they were doing. Something I've talked about before previously on this podcast, on one of my last reviews, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. If you heard that review, you know that I'm having this kind of weird relationship with AI where it's very much bullshit. But Hollywood just can't seem to stop making movies about it. They hate AI and they refuse to acknowledge or let it into the system of Hollywood and writing scripts and CGI, and we're seeing actors doing these weird fights with all the programs that are being made right now, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. This movie, and I had no idea before I went into there, has to do with AI very heavily. It's like, obviously it's a no-brainer, but that's also why you shouldn't be doing it. It just looked so bad. And I'm not talking about deep fakes either. It's not even deep fakes, where the Billy Loomis deep fake from the other film looked pretty good in my opinion. This one is literally just getting the actors from the previous films, putting them on a green screen, and calling it a day. That's it. That's how they justify bringing back some big reveals, which, I mean, this is kind of public information. There's a lot of characters from the previous films that make a return to this, and so you're kind of asking yourself, like, okay, how are they going to be in the film, how are they going to be implemented. Maybe, and this was my theory, they're causing nightmares, hallucinations, or just Sydney is seeing these images or these people from the other side, and they're haunting her from her past, her brother, Billy Loomis's mother, or Billy himself, or even in this case it's very heavily on Matthew Lillard's character, Stu Macher. There's a theory going around in podcasts where people believe that he's still alive. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys whether he is or isn't alive. That's up to you, the watcher, to see for yourself. But the way that they're using AI and bringing these characters back, it was just the worst thing I've ever seen, and I'm over it. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm over it. This movie really was the nail in the coffin of like, okay, if I have to watch one more movie about a director saying they hate AI, but they're talking about it and feeding the conversation about it, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Seriously, I am so done with having this conversation, because the more we talk about it, the more we give power to it. So if we just freaking ignored the conversation AI, and if a reporter is going up to a producer and like, what do you think about it? Do you think we're cooked? Do you think it's gonna ruin Hollywood? I would literally just shrug my shoulders and be like, irrelevant. No. Why would it? We've been making films for a long time, generations, decades, and it's art. You're always going to have this medium. You're always going to want this format. That is for a very small niche. That's for like Bitcoin people. That's for people that were doing that kind of crap when they were like downloading those cards with pictures on it, crypto coins or whatever, man. Like all that crap. That is for a very small population of the people. And the rest of us just don't feed into that. We don't care about it. We don't see the value in it. We just don't. Because it's never going to be in the normalcy of the real world. I'm never going to go to a Walmart and have to use Bitcoin or crypto, whatever, to have to pay for my groceries. It's just not the world that we live in. And if it does, then I'll be wrong, and whatever. You guys can call me a grandpa all you want. But I am just so damn sick of AI being the bad guy. And I'm not even defending it. I'm not even like on its side. I just don't care. I just don't care to even talk about it, to acknowledge it. And so I hate that this film is making me do that. It sucks, man. It really sucks. What else can I talk about? Well, Red Right Hand, that song. I love that song so much in these movies, and I love when it's a needle drop. One of the best, I think, needle drops in all of the franchise comes from Scream 5, when a character is outside a bar taking a leak on the building, and then the car turns on behind him and the headlights are on and the song is playing from the radio. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And in this film, it's just kind of montage music that plays during the scene to kind of transition from one to the next. And I felt it was just lazy. I was like, why couldn't it be as simple as just putting it in the music in the background while they're at the bar, while they're at the restaurant? Like literally have it be part of the environment. And it just doesn't use any creative or unique ways to rehash all this stuff. It's doing a lot of rehash. There's a lot of, oh, remember this? There's a lot of member berries in this. And I remember recently they had like some stupid TikTok event where they invited all of these TikTok influencers to go to this like Scream kind of party. They didn't show the movie, but they kind of just had a party, kind of like a rap party for the film. And man, dude, what a waste of time. It feels like they're really trying to connect to the younger generation and trying to like overcompensate by really convincing you that this is a good movie. They're gonna try their hardest to convince you that this is a good movie because the writer from the other movies are coming back and Neve Campbell's coming back and she names her daughter Tatum, which they explain and tell you 10 fucking times throughout the movie. You're named after Tatum, my best friend, the last person I trusted. Hey, I know that. You already mentioned that 5 minutes ago to the other character and the one before that. This movie just is the epitome of hurry, finish the script because we're filming tomorrow. It is such a shame that they fired Melissa Barrera and they moved on from that entire character arc. I get that she was only signed on for 2 movies. And they just resorted to like, all right, well, bring Neve Campbell back. And this isn't like a director creative decision. This is literally a boardroom meeting studio executive decision. They're like, all right, well, we got to make another movie irregardless because the momentum's there. People love seeing Ghostface. We got to keep it going. And we just got to cash in on that. It's just literally them just cashing in on the hype that currently is Ghostface, and it just disappoints me because I would have been okay if Ghostface just went away for 5 years. If they didn't make Scream movies for 5-10 years, hell, 15-20 years, never make one ever again, how about that? I would have been totally fine with that. I didn't need this movie. Nobody was begging for this movie at all. Neve Campbell is good, I'll give you that. How about that? I feel like I'm shitting too hard on it, and I gotta give it at least some pros and some cons for you guys, because I don't want you thinking I'm just being a hater here. I think Neve Campbell is actually pretty good as a mother, as Sidney Prescott, the mother now in this new chapter of her life. I like seeing what she's doing. I love her relationship with her daughter and the dynamic there. Her daughter really isn't prepared for any of this, for a Ghostface attack, a killing, and so she really has no idea what to do, and she's trying to be tough and learn from her mother and know about her past. I think there's some cool stuff there. I really do. I think the drama there was working for me. And I have no issue with the characters and the development and the direction they wanted to take it, actually. Or even Kevin Williamson, because he's just some guy that they paid a lot of money, I think like $500,000 to rewrite the entire script. You know, the Spyglass logo came up and I said, Spyglass? More like Spy Ass, man. And God, this movie just proved me right. And I wanted it to prove me wrong. I wanted to walk away and tell you guys right now, like, hey, actually, this movie's tough. This movie's crazy, low key. You gotta go check it out. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if this movie's on track to make more money. There's a mid-credit scene, but it's kind of more of a gag than anything serious. There's nothing really being set up next, nothing like that. I'm telling you right now, I don't need any more of these movies. I'm wiped out. I'm done. It literally became Fast and the Furious right before my eyes. A character would get shot 5 times in the chest with no bulletproof vest and would magically disappear 5 seconds later and then be running up to you with a knife. It was just the stupidest thing I had ever seen. I was laughing at the movie and not with the movie. It's just a complete disappointment. It really is. I hated how they brought back all the characters. I hated the AI stuff. I hated the music. I hated everything. hate. I hated this film so bad. I feel like I really got to think about this movie and sleep on it a little bit longer before I give a definitive ranking. But as of right now, I'm going to rate Scream 7 a 4 out of 10. Great kills, good setups, nice pacing, some real drama between the family and the husband and the dynamics there. I thought all of that was actually working for me. What ruins the movie is who the killer is and why the killer is doing that. And I'm not going to spoil that for you guys. You have to go check it out for yourself. I don't recommend that you guys got to go run to the theaters right away. I know a lot of hardcore Scream fans will definitely be wanting to check this movie out immediately, so please go do that and let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film. What was really great about the screening that I went to, I'm not sure if they're going to do this for all the others, hopefully they will, but they actually played the trailer to Scary Movie 6 that's coming out later this year. And oh my god, it was so funny. I was laughing the entire time, and the ironic part about this is this morning, before I went to go see Scream 7, I watched Scary Movie just to kind of reminisce, because I had already watched all the Scream movies for my ranking video, and so it was kind of like I got nothing left to kind of get me hyped and psyched to go watch this. And so I put on Scary Movie to kind of reminisce about that, and I was laughing the entire time, and I had no idea I was going to see the trailer today. And so it was really a nice surprise, and oh my god, they literally are doing everything. It's all your favorite horror films that have been made in the past 20, maybe even 30 years, and it's so awesome seeing all of that come together. I was so confused when I was first looking at it. I was like, wait, how is that there? How is this here? How are all these characters in one movie at the same time? And very quickly it took that crazy satire, dark turn as you expected from the Wayne brothers, and thank God that they're back and they're making spoof movies all over again. I think spoof movies are making a return. I hope we have a renaissance of spoof movies, because holy shit, Scream 7 was so bad. I hope I never had to see these movies ever again, and we can just start poking fun and making fun of them all over again. This is what happened back when the first two movies came out. Scary Movie came out and completely destroyed those movies and made it hard for them to continue to want to make more. It's the same thing that happened to Austin Powers with the Mission Impossible, or even the James Bond movies. It just became hard to make another spy movie because Austin Powers completely demolished the foundation and destroyed what you kind of know and come to expect from these movies. And so now you have to divert audiences' expectations. Thank you for listening to me rant about Scream 7. As far as my ranking goes for these movies, I'm probably going to put this at the bottom of my list. I would much rather watch Scream 2 than have to watch Scream 7 that has ugly, nasty AI conversations and CGI going on. It was just the ugliest thing to look at, and I hope I never have to see this ever again. I love Scream 3 so much. That is my favorite movie. If you guys have to go and rewatch any of the movies, I highly recommend that you put that one on. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, I have been your host, Isaac Joel. I'll catch you next time.